What's up, everybody? And I just wanted to come on here and say before we get started with this episode of Issa Kickback that our pro-blackness does not mean anti-white.
We love you all. Don't get offended.
With this episode, there's going to be a lot of lessons, a lot of first times. Me and Marcellus did do enough due diligence that we feel confident enough to just display this information to you all.
We'll put our reading glasses on.
On me. So with that said, whatever you hear today, feel free to look into it a little bit more. You can challenge it if you'd like. We'd love to have that open dialogue with you all.
Please do that. Let's have a conversation.
Yeah. With that said, we're going to get into it.
Yes, sir.
What's up, everybody? I'm James.
I'm Marcellus.
And welcome to another episode of Issa Kickback.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, we're glad you guys are joining us again for another episode. We're excited to be here and still cooking, man. I hope you've enjoyed all of our guests so far. This is the first time you've seen us in a little bit.
It's been a little hot second, huh? Yeah. Well, we here. We're still rocking. Don't you worry.
Yeah, with that. But as you all know, if you're a new listener, if you listened before, how we like to start our episodes is we like to set the vibe. So
you gotta go.
Yeah, we're going to get started with the vibe check. What a culture we live in. Swimming in an ocean of information and drowning in ignorance.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we know everything, but we don't know shit. I mean, with the access to our phones, we have access to so much information, but yet we're still ignorant to everything.
Yeah.
So I feel that.
Yeah.
For sure.
And it's like with new technologies come new challenges. So it's like you can't take everything at the first sight. Like it sucks that you can't just trust this resource. You have to go confirm it and
get rid of that AI shit, man. That shit is fucking terrifying. I had that shit for like an hour. It was like replying to messages for me. That shit was
replying to messages is crazy.
It was creepy. I didn't like it. I turned that shit off, man.
What a culture we live in.
Point taken.
All right, so let's just jump into it, man. Yeah. So this episode is really going to be one big Black History Month lesson in the sense of we've been lied to, all of us.
Yeah.
Every race, every gender, we've all been lied to in some way or form by the powers that be, right?
Damn those people.
Yeah. But, with that said, thankful for technology because we can see through their lies now. We have a resource. We don't have to take it for face value. Yeah. So with that, we're going to be discussing just some key points that we research. I don't want to say research because we're not professional researchers, right?
Yeah. First love.
If you want to go down that lane, you got it.
No, I'm scared.
But like I said, we're not professional researchers. These are just some things that stood out to us as we continue to learn about ourselves, who we are, and who we were.
Yeah.
You're supposed to have those conversations with your grandparents, and some of us aren't as lucky to have that, or to even have that spark to even do that.
Want to have that conversation?
Yeah. Because I think I was 28 when I first got interested. I was like, who the fuck am I? Like, let me go ask somebody. Right?
I was fucking 30.
So it varies. So with that, we're gonna start it off kind of slow, and we're gonna explain what the AAVE is, which is African American Vernacular English, which is you guys call it slang or
it's pretty much
improper English and things like that, but y'all motherfuckers adapt and use that shit. Like
y'all love it just as much.
Y'all love it, right? But you hate when we use it and you try to write us off as ghetto and proper and things like that. But really, it's a way to speak, and it's a way for us to speak to each other and it's regional. Similar to when we had Ronnie here with ASL, it's regional. Like there's different slang and different states, even different countries, like and even different areas. Like I've lived in all over rural Illinois in a sense, and is like fried, for instance.
Ooh, fried. Yeah.
Fried was a term that I learned from JT because he read a book and the book said it, right?
Right.
But when I said it in Macomb, they were like, nah, that ain't it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's region. It's,
or word.
Yeah, or word. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, that's just to start us off light.
Yeah.
But I guess let's jump in the deep end.
This is a journey. Ride with us.
On me. So, first up, we want to talk about the Black Panther Party.
Yes, let's do that.
As you all know, Kanye made a very, very great point when he said they created the Black Panther Marvel character. Marvel, right?
Yes.
Marvel character. So when you search Black Panther, it gets buried. The Black Panther part of it gets buried. But with that, it's like, let's talk about the good that they did and why a lot of things exist that we all take advantage of, right?
To this day, yeah.
A lot of our kids take advantage of us, and a lot of us as adults use, because of them, are able to use certain resources. So
I know I did, for sure.
Yeah, so you want to go ahead and give us...
one of them is the free school breakfast and lunch programs.
Yeah.
Throughout all public school systems to this day was founded by the Black Panther Party. Huey Newton, am I correct? He started that, and he created the system that was first used as like this bag lunches for the communities that were handing off to each and every family to feed the household for breakfast and lunch, and which trickled down or trickled up to what we see today in our communities. So that's a beautiful thing, and it all started with the Black Panthers.
Yeah. They also affected our healthcare system.
Yeah.
They would host places for people to come and have their injuries checked and things like that. And they started that. They started the because as you all know, J. Cole said it best, like, came fast like 911 in white neighborhoods. 911 didn't come to those areas, right? So they took it upon themselves and really opened up the healthcare system. One thing that they really shed light on was the sickle cell. And just a little bit on that is like, they got very minimal funding compared to some of these other diseases. Sickle cell really...
No, like little funding, like 100,000 to 100 million funding. I just wanted to say that.
But sickle cell mainly affects Black people, right?
Which is why.
But they gave millions to other diseases, to research other diseases. And then the Black Panther Party also had a 10-point plan. We're not going to go through the whole 10-point plan. So that's something that I would encourage you to kind of look into if you're interested in learning more about, what all they attributed themselves to, because a lot of today is because of those young men and women who fought that fight for us. And I believe they're still around. They have to move at a lower key, but I believe they're still around. I don't think they left us all hanging.
Do you?
100%. 100%.
I respect that.
It's a game.
Yeah.
And as we grow, we learn to play it. In the sense, I don't expect the Black Panther Party member to see this and want to come on our pod, but I expect...
If you do, please do. We'll blow your face or something.
Hey, come expose yourself.
No, we'll blow your face and whatnot.
Blur the face.
Technology, bro. AI.
But it's just, we're not done fighting.
Yeah, no, 100%. I agree with that.
Especially with the climate of today. And I think a lot of people who don't look like us are finally being treated how we've always been treated. And they're like, what the fuck?
And a lot of those former Black Panthers did go on to work in actual healthcare, whether it's hospitals or creating their own hospitals, like in Southside Chicago.
Yeah.
3 former Black Panthers opened up a local clinic to help the community. So they're still out there fighting a good fight. So we're not alone. I'll say that.
Yeah. Another organization that helped protect us, Black people during that time, was the Deacons of Defense. So this is something that really sparked something in me because they're not talked about a lot in history. Like I
just found out about this.
Yeah,
while doing the research for this,
we would send stuff back and forth. He's like, "What the fuck?" Like So when I say like we went on this learning process to share this information, we really went and learned some shit to share with y'all.
For real.
So you guys are gonna hear me ramble for a little bit, but the Deacons of Defense and Justice, they were a Black self-defense organization that started in 1964 in Jonesboro, Louisiana. Now, their main thing was to protect us from the Ku Klux Klan and police brutality during the civil rights movements. The biggest difference between the Deacons of Defense and other organizations is they kept that motherfucking strap on them.
Yeah?
Yeah. So they kept firearms and they used armed resistance, to counter like white supremacy attacks and things like that. And, they would stand outside of protests with their guns. They'd stand outside of churches to protect churches. They're not talked about because they give light to the people
that abuse us.
Yeah, so not to light to the people that abuse us, but they give light to the people that want to fight back but don't know how. Like we're so used to like staying passive. They want us to protest peacefully.
Yeah.
The Eagles just tore Philadelphia up over a football game. And they shoot and pepper spray if we're sitting in the park protesting or blocking the street. They drive through and kill people. And it's like, but they just won the Super Bowl and it's okay for them to riot in Philly. So it's just things like that kind of rubbed me the wrong way. But just to get back to this, like, and it started in 1964, but they expanded through the South and they really challenged the idea, like I said, of like, we don't have to be passive. We don't have to just take this shit. And they actually played a really crucial role during the civil rights movement. They just don't get the highlight. And they actually have a movie out that's based on them that I haven't got to watch, but it's on my watch list.
You know what it's called?
It's Deacons of Defense. It's pretty simple.
Go watch it.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch it. But I will say this: when it comes to learning about our past and it's one thing to read it. It's another to watch.
It isn't another thing.
Because like I even read this. I was reading this book, like Why Do All the Black Kids Sit Together at Lunch, right? And it fucked me up. Title. Yeah, it fucked me up how accurate it was.
Yeah.
Because I think back to when I was at the junior high, and it was just we had a corner. And all of us like sat together.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If you look out to the cafeteria, you'd see one or two like, in their clique. But all of us sat together, whether we liked each other or not, all of us sat together and it just fucked me up, bro. Yeah. It's just kind of crazy the things you don't realize in the time.
I remember watching a movie called Birth of a Nation. Excuse me if I get the title wrong, but it's like seeing what our ancestors went through. And like I remember and I'm sorry if I'm getting too graphic, but like one of the masters took a slave's wife and like had sex with her, and then like the slave husband had to like take her back and just go home with her as if nothing happened.
Yeah,
and just go on their day. Like that shit was like, what the fuck?
Imagine someone taking your wife, your partner, fucking them by raping them.
Yeah.
And then being like, here.
We're done.
Yeah.
See you tomorrow at work.
Yeah.
Type shit.
Yeah. And it's just, so actually, I'm glad you bring that point up in a sense of it helps us get to our next topic of like, there were different plantations. Like they only teach us about, they were in the fields, cotton picking and things like that. Yeah. No, there were different plantations.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
They had breeding plantations. They used to breed us. They used to, like animals, they used to breed us for work. Isn't that fucking nuts?
Yeah, I mean,
you're
using imagination on why they're breeding us.
Yeah, isn't that fucking nuts though? Like, we're human beings, right? And it's like, they had fighting plantations for entertainment. And it just...
They used to, like, skin us.
Yeah.
And, like, make furniture out of us.
Yeah, so and that goes into the cattle plantations. They had cattle they treat us like cattle, and people don't. And I hate to break it to you, but a lot of like white people, a lot of your ancestors were fucking cannibals. They used to eat us.
Yeah,
they used to eat us. They used to fucking eat us.
And I'm not trying to laugh because like, it's a serious topic. But like, what the fuck?
Yeah, but they told us we were the monsters.
Yeah,
but they would eat us. So some of you aren't familiar, but with Nat Turner, I'm not going to get into who he is or the role he played. Yeah. But they ate Nat Turner because they thought they would get superhuman strength.
They thought he was the real black character.
They ate Nat Turner because they thought they would get superpowers.
What kind of sin is that? I'm sorry. Why would you think you're going to get powers from eating? Move on.
And like it's hard to stay on this because it's fucked up.
Yeah,
it kind of like I'm getting anxious over here, like even talking about this shit out loud. Like we can rehearse and do all we want,
and we did trust us, but like it's not the same. So
yeah, so just a few more facts for you, and you guys. So a lot of this stuff is available online. Like go do your due diligence, like we did.
Yeah.
But they made leather out of our skin. They made leather out of our skin, and they made furniture out of us.
Yeah, which some is still in museums to this day.
Yeah.
In Virginia?
Yep, Richmond, Virginia, at the VFMA Museum in Richmond, Virginia. They have that shit on display. leather out of our skin. Yeah, it's fucked. So they told y'all George Washington had wooden teeth. No. His teeth were made out of lead, mercury, horse, and slave teeth. He took
another man's teeth, put on his. That's just nasty. Like, they were nasty people.
Yeah.
What do you expect?
And then they would use us as spare body parts.
Yeah.
That's fucked up. And so they used to use us as spare body parts. They post on the news about all the people dying in Chicago and things like that, but the entire time they're organ farming in Chicago.
Yeah.
So if you don't have life insurance and you have donor on your ID card, which you automatically come as a donor unless you change it. Guess what? That makes you more likely to end up under police brutality, kidnapped. Kanika Jenkins. They say they used her to save Selena Gomez. I ain't gonna get into the conspiracy stuff, but it's crazy because I'm not gonna get into that.
Put me on afterwards.
Yeah. So they used us as extra spare body parts. Right?
Yeah.
And so, like, I don't think people realize how traumatizing that is. Like, if you're listening to this, you're probably going through the shock of, wow, we were cannibals. Y'all were far worse. Like, they don't like teaching, but they don't like Black History Month because it shows that white people were the bad people. Y'all were the bad guys.
Your ancestors
were the bad guys. And with that, America is built off the backs of people that look like me. It's so crazy because when people try to help people that look like me, the government blocks it. The American government blocked a $1 billion gift from the Libya leader, Gaddafi. Farrakhan even asked the U.S. Treasury to grant exemption from U.S. sanctions.
They said no.
And they do their best to make life harder by redlining, not allowing us to purchase or live in certain neighborhoods, or building highways, or flooding certain areas where Black people are excelling.
Such as the Black Wall Street in Oklahoma. There was a town in Georgia?
New Orleans. They flooded New Orleans.
Yeah, on purpose. Katrina. Look it up. George Bush doesn't care about Black people.
You feel me? And so there's redlining, and then there's another thing called gerrymandering, where they manipulate the boundaries for the electoral to favor one party or class. And they do all that, and through all that, here we are, overcoming, doing our best to get through this shit. But it's a different level of trauma.
And I want to say this. I hate this type of shit. You know me. I fucking hate this shit. But when I was like, we were doing our research for this, I remember texting Jay's man, like, this is fucking depressing. Like, I do not like this shit. Like, let's how you can shoot this and get it over with, because it's just sad. Like, point blank period. It's just sad. So let's keep on.
Yeah.
I just wanted to make that clear because it fucks me up. You know me, like I'm a happy guy. I'm good, happy go lucky type shit. But like, it angers me to like realize what, not me personally, but what I've been through. You know, and I don't like that shit. So
yeah.
Sorry.
No, don't apologize because that's real. But they don't have to live with that. They need to live with the fact that, oh, we ate people. Okay, well, I don't eat people, so I'm good.
Right.
Oh, that was my ancestors. Why aren't you over it already? Why do you keep bringing that up? That's how they live. They don't have to live with the thought of at any moment we could slip right back to that.
And it's possible day by day.
Tell us we deal with racism every day, you and I.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong, they're not eating us.
Yeah.
But
thankfully.
So
well, I mean, we see what's going on out there. But anyway.
Yeah. So just moving on, let's talk about some of the people that they put in the limelight.
That you may know.
Yeah. They put in the limelight because, like I said, we eventually started to play the game, right?
No PlayStation.
So I jumped the gun. So we're going to talk about Harriet Tubman first before we get into when we started to play the game.
Okay.
Harriet Tubman's...
That's not her name, by the way.
Yeah. So Harriet Tubman, her mom's name was Harriet, and I don't even want to say ex-husband. Her husband's name was...
He was a wild boy.
Yeah. Her husband's name was Tubman.
Yeah.
So she had her mom's name and her husband's last name.
Yeah.
Her real name was Araminta Ross. I'm sorry if I butchered that. Armento Ross. And when she did her first journey to freedom, her husband thought she died. So her husband remarried. And when she came back to get her husband and his wife, she even offered to the wife, because her wife, they had a family.
Yeah,
they had kids.
About it, yeah.
They had said no. They didn't want to escape to freedom. They didn't believe her. I believe there's more people who stayed back than actually left with her.
I mean, and can you blame them though? Like, it's like you fear what you don't know.
Yeah.
And you have to like risk your life to go get to whatever the unknown is.
Yeah.
I mean, I get it.
Yeah, that's conditioning though. But at the same time, she was also 27 doing this.
Saying, like,
so she was young as fuck.
And
so
this is you're telling the wife is telling the husband, no, I'm the man. You stay, that type shit.
Yeah.
So I get it. And people are ignorant. So.
Yeah. So that's how she was used during then. But after that, she was a spy during the war. She used to stash information and weapons in her hoop score.
Yeah, she was thugging.
Yeah, and she taught and led women to espionage.
Mm-hmm.
So she was the real deal.
Deal Holyfield.
And that's just one of the people that you can actually look up to, because that is some scary shit. Like, you get so conditioned, like, if I do this much, Massa gonna leave me alone.
Yeah.
You get conditioned to that. So you want me to try to run away from Massa when all I gotta do is this job, and he leaves me the fuck alone?
And not just run away hundreds, thousands of miles to the north.
Yeah, to what life? What life waits for me?
Exactly.
And
who's to say it's not worse on the other side?
Yeah. So. Yeah. And well, there are also traps too. You got to think about the traps.
Yeah. And the shit that she was doing to like avoid the traps. Like, I don't want to get into it because I don't want to be wrong, but like what I read was she was doing some incredible shit. So please look her up and look her up thoroughly, not just what the first page says.
Yeah. So with that, going into some of the next really promoted names are Martin Luther King and Malcolm X.
We're not going to get too deep on that.
Yeah, so everybody knows the government killed Martin Luther King. His family won the lawsuit, things like that. But no one knows why they finally, because everybody knows he was a partier. He cheated on his wife. He did all these things, right?
He liked white girls,
and he liked white women, right?
That's yeah.
Which is that's a no during that time, really. Yeah. But when you're working for the government, they don't care,
and they encourage it
until he started to radicalize. Like, he started to believe that he was leading his people astray.
Yeah.
A big thing is the Montgomery bus boycott. We'll get into the bus system and things like that. But Black people already had successful bus systems.
Yeah.
18 months they did that boycott, and it crippled Montgomery.
The whole town.
And
you know how hard on it is to cripple a town? That's crazy.
Yeah. So I say this. What is your opinion? Do you think Black people were better off that we integrated, or should we have remained segregated if they had left us alone? Because every time we built something up, they destroyed it. So if they would leave us alone, do you think we would have been better off?
That's just a loaded question.
He's like, don't put me on the spot like that.
For real, man. God, geez.
I think we've been better off.
I don't know. To be honest, just because it's hard to compare and contrast from now.
Fair.
That's my honest answer.
And then you have gentlemen like Malcolm X, who was fuck y'all from the beginning.
Yeah.
They also killed him. They killed him. The family's suing right now. They'll probably win.
Over 100 M's, just so you know.
They'll probably win. Yeah. So it's just...
Trump said he's releasing the file, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah, and it just... And one thing you have to ask yourself when it comes to, like, why these guys? Why are these guys the ones put in front of us? Why aren't we hearing about Harvey P. Newton and people like that? But, I mean, we do on a lower scale, but...
Yeah.
So, do you want to tell us about the Rosa Parks story?
I mean... Her story is kind of jaded a little. So Rosa Parks was not the original lady to lead the spark of the not sitting in the back campaign. It was really, I don't know the young lady's name, but she was a teenager who was pregnant. However, I'm sorry,
Claudette Cloven.
Yeah, her name is Claudette. I don't like reading that shit because the whole system is fucked up. Because
that boy Sal's hurt right now. He's like, this doing a little bit more damage than I thought.
it really is. But like, so long story short, Rosa Parks is not the original person. Only reason why she was cut is because she fit the image. Rosa Parks had money. Rosa Parks just had a new car bought by her husband. Rosa Parks was the writer for the incident.
No, so they had just bought a vehicle for $1,500, which is equivalent to $25,000 in today USD. It was a 1949 Ford Coupe. She was a secretary for the NAACP,
which was a great deal back then.
Yeah,
that's like not no slight little job. That's a big deal, especially for a black woman.
Yeah, if you just bought a new car, why are you riding a bus?
Exactly.
All right, so the situation with Claudette Cloven had happened 9 months prior to Rosa Parks. But like I said, she was pregnant, she was young, so she didn't really fit the image. She was 15
at the time, so bad look.
Yeah, and like we said, Martin Luther King was a puppet. So, I mean,
you need another one.
In layman's terms, right?
Yeah.
But they did feel like the high school student wouldn't be as effective. So that's why they chose to go with someone like Rosa Parks. Now, these two individuals were not the only people that it happened to. A lot of people started to stand up for themselves in general.
There's a man. So I don't know if you guys ever seen the Boondocks, but like that Boondocks episode is semi-true. Where he's like, I was on the bus too.
Yeah.
There was a man that was on the bus doing the exact same thing, but he got phased out because Rosa Parks was a light-skinned woman who looked pretty.
Basically. But I just want to tell you guys about successful black-owned bus systems that were, we didn't really need that bus system. We had the Montgomery-based Black Taxi Service, which was black-owned by a local entrepreneur. They had and then in other areas, they had the Safe Bus Company in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. And it was one of the most successful black-owned bus companies. Even they had a black bus service in Atlanta, too, which, Atlanta's like the mecca for black people these days.
Entrepreneurs at that.
Yeah, so it's like, you get into all that, and it's kind of like, did we really need to be integrated if we could do it on our own? And I'll take the pressure off you, Celis, but that was just a generalized so that's where my issue is. Like I said, when we sat down with Motion Plus, it's like, yeah, I'm more of a Malcolm X than that, in the sense I felt betrayed by a lot of people lately. So that's why I'm like, who am I? Let me figure out who I am.
Yeah.
And so, this episode is heavy. I don't expect a ton of people to listen to it all the way through. And we're not, like I said, we're not professional researchers. We're just two guys that were, mainly me, we're interested in learning about the past and really digging it up and, putting that on Express. It's Black History Month. We wanted to display some information we found. It's harder to come on a platform and be public about it because we do have jobs. We do have to go to work with some of you tomorrow. But like I said, our pro-blackness is not anti-white, and there's no ill will. This is just history. This is American history, not just black history. This is American history. This is the history of this country.
And please respond and have some dialogue with us. We'll love to have this discussion.
So the last heavy topic that I want to talk about is the police force.
Yeah. Yeah.
The roots of the police are tied to different system of social control, right? But they originally started as slave patrols in the South during the 1700s.
Yeah.
Slave
to catch the slaves.
Yeah.
They're trying to run away.
To enforce slavery, pretty much. And to suppress revolts and monitoring black populations, right?
That's exactly
So what the fuck are they doing today, right? All right, so it went the timeline for the police force kind of went in the 1700s they were slave patrols, right?
Right, to keep them from escaping and to the north and all that.
Yeah, and just for the hell of it too. In the 1800s it was they're maintaining order in the growing urban centers. We both know what fucking urban means.
Black.
Yeah, and this is also in the midst of the Jim Crow era. But around 1865 the police enforced black codes and laws that restricted freed black people's rights. Like I said, Jim Crow era. And they were really used to uphold segregation and suppress the civil rights movement.
During that time that was the gist of the police force.
Yeah, so when y'all say why doesn't he just listen or things like that? That's because the whole idea of the police force was created to control black people.
Yeah.
And to discipline's not to torment black people. That's why the police force it. There's things that I personally don't agree with. I don't agree with registration stickers every year. I don't agree with.
Come on, for your gun.
No, for your car. Like, why?
Car.
I have the same car. Like, there's just certain things.
I hate that shit, man. It cool me over. I'm sorry.
No, but talk about it. Like,
no, like, man. So, I mean, I have a lot of experience with QPD. None of them good. Well, they cool me over some bullshit one time. Like your registrations, like if you type it up, you see my name pop all out. It's expired. So you pull me over for a piece of. It's just a piece of paper at the end of the day that you want me to spend extra money on.
$121.
Same with the little sticker on your license plate. Why the fuck we keep paying for that shit? It's a sticker. My car ain't get new. Why I gotta get a new sticker? You know
same car.
Like, it's the same fucking car, and
but
that's just me ranting. Sorry.
No, I mean that's really the only reason I get stopped. And it's like, bro, I'm not thinking about no fucking sticker. And it's like, oh, they mail you, they email you, and it's just like, bro, I'm looking at a stack of junk mail right there that I'm not supposed to be receiving anymore. So it's kind of like,
man, my fucking.
So that's kind of like, that's why it's fuck the police, fuck 12, and all the fucks.
Shit, they did kill my black ass one time, or almost tried to kill me.
Word.
Yeah, shit. This is about a year and a half ago. I was walking to the crib from the mother of my children's house, and you know how like you see something out of your curfew, well, like it ain't your business, and you just keep going.
Hell yeah!
I see the cop car to my left out of my preview, but like I'm going straight. I ain't got nothing to do with what's going on. Cause like I said, I'm walking, I ain't doing nothing. I hear something, but I'm hard of hearing, so keep that in mind. I hear something, but I don't know what's being said. Again, I'm walking straight. Before I even like register what that happened next, I have guns pointing to me. I'm handcuffed, slammed to the ground. They're yelling my like, "What's your name? Where you going? What's your name?" I had a bottle in my hand. They like snatched the bottle down. It was closed. It was not open. I was not walking around with an open container or anything like that. Like it was like at any moment, if the gun could have went off, I could have been dead. Like that was some real shit. It was like, what are you doing? I'm like, I live around here. I tell them my address. What's your name? I say, well, like I can't respond because I can't hear, and they're all talking at one time so fast. And like before. Sorry, it's just a lot. It's like 5 cop cars lined up. But then again, seconds, a minute tops, 5 cop cars lined up. And they're surrounding me. I'm on the ground. Thankfully, my cousin sees from her apartment window that I'm being harassed. And tells the mother of my children and my cousin, my aunt, who live in the same area. They come rushing up. They start yelling like, hey, get off of them. He didn't do nothing, blase, and like, it was just a traumatic experience, and I could go deeper, but like, it's just fucked up all the way around. Long stories, not so long. I'm like, so why'd you like do all that? Like, what was the purpose? It was like, well, a girl had gotten sexually assaulted in the area, and the description was, black guy, dreads, white shirt. If you see me, you know what the fuck I look like. Yes, I have dreads, but like, I'm pretty descriptive. If I went to
that boy unique,
you feel me? Like, if I would have did something, I did it. And then they had the fucking nerves to like ask me for my DNA after like letting me go because like obviously I wasn't the guy. I say, what the fuck? Like, I watched enough Law and Order to like, no, I'm not giving you my DNA. It's just like, oh, well, we just wanted to like eliminate your name from the case. I say, there's no case. I didn't fucking sexually assault some girl in the woods.
Yeah.
So it was a fucking nightmare. And like what made it worse in my mind was like at the time my son had dreads.
Yeah.
He wears a white shirt. Like it was, and to be honest, the person who was looking for was light skinned. My son's light skinned, so that was a better comparison than me in the person.
Yeah.
And I shit like triggered, and like I had nightmares for weeks about that shit, and it's still hard to think about sometimes. And yeah, so
fuck, bro. Yeah. So if there's any attorneys out there who want to win an easy case,
I mean,
yeah,
We could talk business.
Yeah, because that's also another thing. It's like we don't know the steps to even go about those sort of things for real.
People tell me all the time to press charges. It's like, what the fuck do I know about doing that against the police department at that, you know?
Yeah, so if you are an attorney and you're listening to this for some random reason and you want some money, some easy money we got a case for you. For real. I'm so sorry you had to experience that, my brother, though. Like,
thank you.
Generally, like that shit is traumatizing, and it's like now every time you got to deal with the law, it's like, are these motherfuckers gonna overreact? They're supposed to defuse situations and they escalate them more than anything.
Every time, you know.
So that's my experience. My experience, I don't have experience as bad as yours.
Right.
But I don't have I don't get it's just bullshit.
Yeah.
It's just bullshit.
Straight up.
You know, and I have friends that are cops. One time I asked him, I was like, how often do you like stop people or arrest people for weed? He was just like, honestly, you know me. So not that often. Like, I'll just make them throw it away or something. Like,
yeah.
He's like, because there's like more serious shit going on.
But I do want to like make it clear that like I don't hate the police.
Nah, fuck 12.
There are some very bad apples in the police.
You don't hear a motherfucker saying fuck the fire department.
That's facts. Shout out to the fire department.
So I don't know. Yeah. So just to move forward, there's just a few more points that we want to just discuss. One thing that really like struck a chord with our listeners the first time we had a Black History episode was like when we mentioned being the token Black person in groups and things like that.
Right.
There's so many people that didn't realize like
what a token was.
Yeah, and it was like the South Park reference where Token's the only character in there.
I've never seen that show, but yeah.
And his name is Token and there's things like that. So it's like if there's a group of 6 and there's one Black guy, guess what? That's the token Black guy. And it's like that's not really the role you want to play.
At all.
In the sense, because then you become I have a Black friend. That's the role you play for those people.
I can say the N-word. My friend's squad.
Yeah, type shit.
You can't, by the way. Please don't do that.
Yeah, that shit is not fucking cool. Like, as someone who doesn't, I personally don't use that word often.
I do. Don't say that shit around me.
But don't say that. That shit just, don't say that. There was one time I was hanging out with this girl and she said it and I was like, if you say that again, you're walking home.
Yeah. Did she walk home?
No.
Damn.
I'm still a gentleman at the end of the day, but she said that shit again.
You're lucky.
And I ain't fucked with her since. You got me so fucked up if you think it's like, how privileged do you think you are to think you can say that shit to me?
Yeah.
So I don't know, but I also think highly of myself. Even like in my lows, I know my value.
Okay.
So we got one more point to kind of discuss, and then we'll get out of you guys' hair. But we appreciate you guys, hanging out, learning this history with us, and
please do your own research.
Yeah, and just do your own due diligence on some of these points. Like I said, we're like scratching the surface with this shit because like all of us have been lied to our entire lives when it comes to our history. But they don't tell us our history; they tell us his story. So
pretty sure that's a Drake line when I did it.
I was a play on history.
Oh,
I didn't. I don't know if that's a Drake line. Anyway, one thing we wanted to speak on is like people calling us a hypocrites because we were in biracial relationships and we do have biracial children and
who we love.
Yeah, no, love dearly. Like me and my daughter's mom, we don't get along, but like at the end of the day, if she ever truly needed something, I'd do anything for her.
Me and mine do shout out to her.
Yeah. So with that said, so we do kind of believe that it goes down to when we were kids, like just being in this area,
Yeah.
I feel like we were programmed to kind of romanticize white women and interracial relationships as Black children.
So I was stating before we started shooting, one of the first interracial couples I remember seeing, honestly, was Dobie and Menace. Remember that movie?
Yeah.
And that CP dude wearing ended up with the white girl with the banjo.
Yeah. So
yeah, I mean it's little things that programs into your brain,
the subconscious. And I think, and a lot of us run into the issue of like a lot of the Black women, we end up being related to down the line and things like that.
Yeah.
But they're also like deemed like difficult, and that's not fair.
It's not.
As Black men who have like Black sisters and Black moms, in a sense, like I think they were also programmed in a sense to go after a certain type of Black man.
Yes.
Which if you weren't that guy in that image, you also were overlooked, and that also made it harder for you to want to be with a Black woman. because we were all in the sense so. And there was also like phrases coined for us that were very popular, but I'm glad that I grew up to the point where it's like, yeah, I would much rather be with someone that looks like me because they just get it. They get it. I don't have to explain myself why the white kid won't ride his bike past me when I come home from work to walk up to my house. He'll stop at the corner 20 feet away instead of continuing to ride his bike until I'm all the way in the house. He won't continue riding his bike until I'm all the way in the house. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. I don't have to explain, and it's just like, I don't have to deal with that's not racism. It's being with someone that simply understands.
Okay, I see what you're saying. I got you. Yeah.
But yeah, that definitely happened to me. That definitely happened to me. And that's why I be in the fucking house, because y'all not finna make me uncomfortable in my own skin. I take care of what I gotta take care of, and I come the fuck home, because there's nothing good out there for me. And that's why I do. That's why I build everything myself. Everything you said. That's why I don't need certain support from certain publications. I'll just do the shit myself because I'm very capable. I don't want your help. I don't need your help. I don't need your hands and shit.
Dang.
I'll figure out how to do the shit myself.
And we see it. No, we see it, bro.
Yeah. With that said, I think that wraps up our episode for the Black History Month. Learn y'all something new for real.
Yeah. Log in.
Yeah.
Read a book. Read a journal.
Yeah.
Read a paragraph.
We have access to the technology. Like, at this point, it's really on us if we learn or not.
Ignorance is bliss.
Yeah, but choosing to stay ignorant is not the way. But with that said, I'm James.
I'm Marcellus.
And this was a Kickback.
Peace.